Mongoose Jake here with another blaster unboxing. And of course, as you can see in front of you, it's the Thermal Hunter. And I need to clarify this unboxing. This was sent to me, and this is going to go straight into from an unboxing to a outdoor firing demonstration, a chrono test, and full review. But I'm going to speed through the unboxing. I'll let you see it, but I'm going to speed through, put some background music. So here we go. Okay, here is everything. As you can see, I already put the batteries in, and I'm going to comment on this. This takes 3 AA batteries. That's quite a bit. Most of the Nerf attachments, like say the little reflex sight that is powered on those, take a couple of AAA. That means either this draws a lot of power, which that would be a long-term test, either draws a lot of power, or it's going to have a very long run time, because 3 AA's, some blasters only use 3 AA's. So that's a lot of power available for this. This is actually a pretty neat system. I hadn't bothered to rush out and grab this when it first came out, but let's see. I mean, it's large and chunky, but you know, that's actually a pretty neat design of engineering, that they were able to have a genuine heat sensor at this low of a price point. Because keep in mind, this is still only about the same price as a Retaliator. And if you've already watched my Interceptor review, the Interceptor, or if you watched all my videos on it, the Interceptor outperforms the Retaliator, hands down. I mean, it's complete. If it's stock, it outperforms it. And dollar for dollar, when you modify this platform, this has way more potential for way less cost than the Retaliator platform, which is the Nerf Elite CS line, basically. They call it clip system. It's a magazine, but Nerf wants to call them clips. But the internals that Buzby uses are far superior, in my opinion, to Nerf. The power that's available, both against stock and modded, is tremendous. But what you get with it is, of course, you get your main blaster, which is a magazine fed pump action blaster that has, I will put this one on the chronograph, but the internals are shared by the Interceptor and Thermal Hunter, the Tactical Storm, the previous generation of the Champion, the Reaper, and all of those range right at the low 80s. And unless this one's a lemon, it should hit low 80s. You know, right around 80 feet per second to 82, 83, 84. That's been my range that I've tested in all of those on my chronograph. And they all have been fairly consistent. I have 2 Reapers, a Champion, Tactical Storm, the Interceptor. All of them have had that same range. But we'll put this thing together. Stock just slides in. One thing I will comment is this is in usage. This is pretty easy to bump and lose. So if you are like me, and I actually run my sling through here, I have had this get bumped and the whole thing fall to the ground. One thing to comment, it is much easier to release this than Nerfs. Nerfs sometimes can be finicky if it's got a tight fit to it to release, even when you're trying to. But this just slides on. This has a double catch. See, if you can see that right there. It's got a front catch, and then it has the standard Buzby clamp. So we're going to slide this to the front as my neighbor's dog decides to get involved. There we are. I don't need to use this, but that of course is the rail adapter. It can allow you to mount on a Nerf accessory onto something like, say, the Thermal Hunter or Interceptor. But also you could take this and throw it on, say, a Nerf Longshot if you wanted to. We're going to throw a few of these fantastic Precise Pro darts in here. And again, if you've watched my previous videos, I talk about these things all the time. I'm not saying that just because that Buzby was kind enough to send me this. These things genuinely are, in my opinion, the best darts you can get. And Busby, thank you for the black magazine. You really should put this. This is something I mentioned about the Walking Dead series on the crossbow. This would have looked good with it, or the gray. But for some reason you sent weird colored magazines. There you go. Just simply to install it, load up some darts, pump back, put your magazine in, go forward. Now we're going to take a few test shots over the back end of my deck here. Okay, as is typical, holly tree is about 65 feet away to the trunk or so, and the road itself is about 115. I'm going to do 2 or 3 flat shots, and then we'll put a few angle shots. Okay, flat shots. Oh, that hit the tree. I'm going to shoot off to the right a little more. Now, by shooting off to the right, I'm going to be extending the range out to about 65 to 70. These shots are easily reaching what would be the base of the tree. So this is exactly what I would expect. We're going to go for some angle shots now. And yeah, that's probably about an 80-foot shot. But something I'm wanting to do here, before we go inside, we're going to turn this, I'm going to turn this on here. We're going to test this outside. It's about 90 degrees out right now. We're going to test this out here in 90-degree weather, and then we're going to go inside my workshop, which is cooler, and we'll test it again. Okay, we're testing this live. We're going to test this thing out. As you can see, that's very, very faint outdoors here. This is very, very faint. There we go. Okay, hitting the mode goes from small to larger. And you're seeing very good response time. It's not here that the sensor is. The sensor is up here in this module up here. So all you have to do is, I'm going to move just a finger here. Trying to get that lined up. The response time is great, and this is in the shade underneath my patio umbrella, but we are in 90-degree weather. And of course, you know, human being about 98.6. That's not a huge temperature change. It's 91 degrees exactly by my thermometer, but it's able to sense that body heat compared to 91 degrees outside temperature. Now, outdoors here where it's super bright, I mean, yes, I'm under the shade of an umbrella, but it's still bright. That is very hard to see. So just something to note. It is very hard to see. There are 2 settings. That one just basically disappeared. I'm looking through my camera's viewfinder, and I can't even see it hardly. Now there you can see it. You're able to see the little dot. Okay, so it will function under heat, because right here in June, this is, like I said, it's over 90 degrees outside, and I wanted to give that a try. Then we're going to go ahead and go inside to my workshop, and we're going to do a final review. $87.7. Let's fire off a couple more, make sure that's not a fluke. 77.5. I've already fired it outside. I unboxed it, fired it outside, put it on the chrono, and you can already see the performance is there. Just as I got my interceptor right here. The interceptor stock was good. You know, above average. It beats out my retaliators. I got 2 retaliators now. This beats them out stock. You know, if you're gonna grab a retaliator, you're gonna expect it to shoot around high 60s to maybe 71, 72. This is already shooting about 10 feet per second harder, which, you know, if you're running around, like say you just want to go grab this out, say you're a kid and you want to be able to beat your friend, who's got a Retaliator, because that's the most commonly sold Nerf blaster as far as spring-powered blasters go. Nerf Retaliator is the most common. This automatically gives you an advantage at the same price point. And then my thought is this. Before I give a glowing endorsement to this blaster, which BuzzBee did send this to me, but again, I have to repeat myself. I've had my Interceptor for over a year, and I already love this thing. So I can't say I'm completely unbiased, because I already have experience, a very positive experience with this. And they're the same blaster. Different color and different attachments. And that's what I'm going to get to. Before I give it a glowing assessment here, I've already went over the site outside. Well, I was going to go over it again in here, but there's no point. It is working as claimed. It senses heat difference. It works. This works. The site alone, it works completely as advertised. It's worth, if it's sold alone, which I know now that they've shown at the New York Toy Fair, they are going to sell this thing alone. This is a very useful attachment. It's neat. I mean, it's fun. It's functional. It does its job as it says, exactly how it says. You can set it outside at 90-degree weather. It will sense if you say a human's 98.6 degrees internally, it senses that 8-degree difference. That's how sensitive it is. It'll sense if a finger passes in front of the sensor. So this thing, as itself, just reviewing it does its job exactly as advertised, and surprisingly does not make this a overpriced blaster. If this was a Nerf attachment, this thing alone would be $30. I mean, we've already seen that when they put the little night vision scope. That thing is an expensive unit. The camera blaster that was out before, the Nerf Cam, that thing was an expensive blaster that basically had a flywheel inside. It was a flywheeler, and they way overpriced it. Even more recently, the Modulus Battle Scout with the camera, that thing was way overpriced and performed horribly. This does its job and does not make this blaster expensive. Did a lot of testing here over the past few hours, messing around with it, and it could sense the difference between somebody who was getting sprayed with a sprinkler and somebody who was dry. If you set it to the person with the sprinkler, it sensed that they were colder because of the water, and it would stay green, but as soon as you went to somebody who was dry, it sensed it immediately. And you could go back and forth as fast as like this. And it would pick up instantly. I mean, within milliseconds. So this works as advertised. I give that a 100% thumbs up. That it does its job. I'm repeating myself, it does its job perfectly though. And the fact that it doesn't make this blaster horribly expensive, that there's nothing you can say about it negatively. It works. But the question is, now that I've said both blasters are the same, which would you pick? This one comes with thermal sight. It comes with the Precise Pro darts. It's red. I like this color. This is a very attractive color of red. The hue is very nice. This is a nice looking blue and white color scheme. This comes with a black mag. It comes with 2 gray mags. So there's where you start to think. This comes, if you're just starting out, 2 mags and 30 darts versus 1 mag and 20 darts. Sure, they're better darts, but you got the 1 magazine. However, both of them are good deals. They're both at the same price point of a Nerf Retaliator. So what do you give the Nerf Retaliator for $25? That's $22.99, and this is just a few dollars more. Nerf Retaliator underperforms compared to both of these. The Nerf Retaliator doesn't have slam fire. These don't either. These already have front pump grips. That does not. That's top slide. Everybody buys, well, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people buy pump grip kits for the Nerf Retaliators. Well, that's even more money. The pump grip kit costs almost as much or more. If you don't get it on sale, it costs more than the blaster. Therefore, now you're looking at, well, I could pick up a Thermal Hunter or Interceptor, buy extra magazines, buy extra darts, and I'm still ahead of somebody who bought a Nerf Retaliator and wanted to put a pump kit on it. Now, I can't have everything be glowing. Everything so far has been positive. It outperforms the Retaliator in the same price range. The accessories are very functional and work. It's a better deal. It comes with more stuff. You get more darts. If you buy the Interceptor, you get an extra magazine. What do I not like about it? The stock. The grip's actually pretty good. Most people complain about Buzby grips. The grip's fine. The stock is short. Is it terrible? No. I've been using the Interceptor. I was actually going to add one of the aftermarket butt plates that you can buy for rifles. You know, real steel firearm type rifles. You can buy a adhesive type stick-on butt plate that adds in about another inch. I was going to do that. I haven't yet. The way I use it, it works fine. The worst thing about the stock is that attachment point. That attachment point is quite small, and you can look at it compared to my thumb. That's small, and it is a weak point. The stock is a little flimsy, and the main thing is that you can accidentally bump that and release it right off. It comes into play if you run a sling, which I do, right through the stock. Well, with that single point sling, if I throw it over my neck and shoulder, you can be running, accidentally bump that, and the whole stock will come right off. And there's no reason for Buzby to make such a small stock point. They've got a lot of surface area back here they could have used. They could have made this whole entire point back here flat and doubled the size. Instead of a single point, because it just clicks into one spot there, instead of a single point, I mean, it could have had a push-through slide or something more secure. And they could have, yes, made it longer. So that's the one failing that I find in this. And that's literally all I can find negative, is the overall stock design, the length of it, size of it. They could have made it bigger, longer, and more secure. That's it. The grip's good enough, because it actually is very ergonomic. It's on the small side, but it's very ergonomic. The Buzby Barbarian could learn a lot from this. This thing is worlds better. That grip on the Barbarian is terrible. Pump action smooth, overall action is smooth. It's quiet when it's in stock form, and it's got a lot of mod potential, a lot of power available for very cheap. And it's simple as remove the locks, remove the air restrictor, roll up 7 kilogram spring, and now you have something that's pushing well over 120 feet per second. My Interceptor pushes with Precise Bros, shoots at 130 to 140 feet per second. Thermal Hunter, same internals, same blaster, it'll do the same. So my full review of this is coming to a conclusion here of, right now, people are going to think this is more glowing than it should be. For the money, this is the best spring-powered blaster on the market. For me personally, this is the best buy. And I'm going to include the Interceptor and Thermal Hunter in the same group, because it comes down to personal choice. Do you like this color scheme and the accessories it comes with? Or do you like this color scheme and the accessories it comes with? Because Buzby's giving you a choice by providing the same blaster with 2 different kits, basically. By whichever decision you make, whether it's the Interceptor or the Thermal Hunter package, I think personally, the base blaster is the best on the market, with all things considered. The value for the money, the performance while stock, and the performance when modified. Taking all that into account, this is the best blaster on the market, overall. But this is Mongoose Jake, and if you stayed all the way to the end, I thank you for watching. This has been my full review of the Buzby Thermal Hunter.